Steven Seagal's Flight of Fury is so bad, it kills Santa in front of kids. Worst movie ever. And then we'll do cut.
Is the Steven Seagal mega blockbuster hit movie where he showed the world he's still around and somehow still making these god-awful movies.
That's amazing.
Bro, you can't talk about Steven Seagal in this way when he's holding the AK with one hand and holding it with a side grip. That's the lethal. Look at this. This fucking AK literally has a secondary grip so you can more precisely shoot. Okay? And he's holding it sideways like a real gangster. Exactly.
That's amazing.
It starts off with Seagal in a military prison where he's getting his yearly gout checkup.
This won't hurt a bit.
And he suddenly snaps and kills the doctor.
What?
The nurse can't help but swoon at the sight of Seagal murdering a defenseless old man.
There is no fucking way the nurse didn't do shit.
And kills the doctor.
What?
The nurse can't help but swoon at the sight of Seagal murdering a defenseless old man. He then takes one guard out with a solid punch to the helmet, while the janitor takes the other guard out with a broom shot to the nuts. All of this makes perfect sense, but there's no time to explain because now he's judo chopping this guard right in the body armor.
Wait, boxes labeled U.S. government? Wait, is this anti-U.S., anti-imperialist agitprop? I'm in it, dude. I'm fucking on board, brother. Yeah, he's been judo chopping guards in the back of the neck for 25 years. This is where I learned. I learned this in the mean streets of Jefferson Parish.
And rolling under this truck believably. He pulls himself up with so much power that he pops straight through the top and Teen Wolfs it to freedom.
Wait, what?
Power that he pops believably. He pulls himself up with so much power that he pops straight through the top and Teen Wolfs it to freedom. Suddenly, everyone realizes just how stupid all of that was and chase him.
Yes, screenplay by Steven Seagal. That's how you know. I'm not convinced that motherfucker knows how to read or write, okay?
Him down. But they're too late because somehow he's in the middle of town now. So he steals a car. And the movie immediately forgets any of this ever happened, and it's never mentioned again. This guy is chosen to test fly a new stealth bomber that can go.
It's literally not a new stealth bomber.
Completely invisible. And he just steals it.
Bro, when was this movie made? Isn't it actually a movie, but some sort of ancient gateway to hell that only exists as a test of humanity? Don't watch it. Don't acknowledge that it exists. Wait, hold on. Bro, this is like, wait, this movie was not made in 2023, or 2022. There's no way. Because, yeah, it came out in February 2007. That makes sense because back then, people did think, myself included, I am people, like maybe a little bit younger than that, that plane was invisible. It's everyone, like the United States literally sold that plane as though it was like able to be invisible, for the record. I'm not even kidding. You guys know what I'm talking about? The F-117 Blackbird, yeah, the triangle one. Everyone thought because it was it was marketed as like a stealth jet, and because it was like invisible to a lot of radars at the time, it was literally marketed as invisible, and everybody thought that it was literally invisible to eyesight. Like I thought I was alone. Nighthawk, not Blackbird, whatever. I don't know what it is, but I literally thought that plane was able to go invisible. Like for the longest fucking time. Which is so stupid when you think about it. Like, of course it wasn't able to go invisible, but they just like kind of sold it that way.
At least we know she works, right?
Anyways, Seagal's been locked up for a while and has a real thirst for innocent blood. So he drives into oncoming traffic, hoping to get lucky and take out a family.
You gotta watch the trailer.
When a U.S. military test goes wrong and a $75 million stealth bomber disappears,
Ratcher?
only one man has what it takes to get it back.
They're like, we need to find the fattest guy, okay? Like, our fucking brave, our brave veterans are not fucking out of shape enough. We need to find Mr. Punani. I love the premise of every Steven Seagal movie because it's always like, you know, some shit's gone awry and we need to find the most out of shape person that has ever done an action movie who literally gets winded like walking. Okay, just gets winded walking normally. We need that motherfucker. He's the guy who will save us.
Flight of Fury.
That's so sick. This is the movie. This is the reason why I thought the fucking plane was invisible, dog. I'm telling you. Like, literally, that's why I thought it was invisible, because of that shit. In 1999, a Yugoslav army dude shot down an F-117 stealth bomber. That's some free anti-IMC agitprop.
But the slippery fox keeps swerving out of the way. So, to help him focus, he parks like a dick in front of this convenience store to get some coffee. While he's in there, a group of guys realize the $100 in the register, split 4 ways, is life-changing money, so they decide to rob the place. But since Seagal is so small and unnoticeable, they don't even see him standing on the other side of the stupid window wearing a jacket that I'm pretty sure used to be black. But it doesn't matter, because after taking the first guy out with several dick shots, he does this highly advanced shuffle move before he falls on the ground and slides across the entire store like a greased up penguin and kills 2 of the other robbers.
He's the GOAT.
Along with
He's the
the
GOAT.
cashier who just rubs Seagal the wrong way. The last guy challenges Seagal to a knife
Wait,
fight,
what?
and luckily, Seagal keeps a knife in his.
Wait, why did he kill the cashier? What is happening? Yo! He said, sorry, you were just in the way. Tax evasion, probably? That makes no fucking sense, dude. I love the idea that this fucking guy ran around saying he could beat Jean-Claude Van Damme, by the way, in Louisiana, in the streets of Louisiana. Just, what a guy.
His ass at all times. After Seagal does this for a while, the robber fights to hold back his laughter, which gives Seagal just the opening he needs to give him a neck full of ass knife. At that exact moment, the police show up, and even though it looks bad, especially the whole cashier thing, he's able to smooth talk his way out of it.
Okay, let's go.
Never mind. He's a fucking idiot. Back at the station, all anyone can talk about is how awesome Seagal is.
This guy's extraordinary. He's unlike anything I've ever seen.
They decide that was so awesome, they're gonna let all the killings go.
So that's it, he walks?
This guy's actually been paying attention to this piece of shit movie.
Wait, first of all, this is the most realistic part of this movie that is otherwise incredibly unrealistic. Yeah, he's a bit messy, but he's a vigilante, and cops love that shit. Cops are not like how they are in Gotham City, okay? Where they're like, oh, Batman's a vigilante. We hate him. He's doing our job. Cops in the real world literally are like, oh, no, that's great, brother. Look at him. He's a patriot.
Well, we could book him for stealing a car.
But making sense has no place in a Seagal movie,
Lord have mercy.
so that gets shot down like he's the dumb one.
Come on, man. It's not about stealing a car.
We're 20 minutes in, and the movie decides it's padded its runtime enough,
I travel a lot.
and this isn't going anywhere anyways.
I grew up in a bad neighborhood.
So an Air Force general just walks in and gives Seagal an assignment.
One of our test pilots stole a plane. You get it back for us.
Back at the base, the general explains the whole invisible plane nonsense to Seagal,
Stealth was achieved by shrinking the geometric cross-section of the plane.
who's clearly just pretending to have any idea what he's talking about.
That's amazing.
Damn it, that's regular stealth that you should already know about.
I don't say so.
It doesn't matter, and we don't have time for this anyways.
Hell yeah.
Amazing.
They also send a team of Army Rangers
This is Ranger Team Baker 1.
who
That's
all transfer
amazing.
to the Navy midair and are now SEALs.
Navy SEALs are locked and loaded and ready to jump.
Then they think better of it and transfer back to the Army mid-jump,
This is Ranger Team Baker 1.
during which half of them are killed.
Albers, Fielding, and Patterson didn't make it. I saw the militia take them out.
The surviving half tries the old sitting duck strategy and are immediately killed also.
Yeah, see, this is where you fucked up, American military. You sent a bunch of Navy SEAL, Marine, Army Corps Rangers, okay? When you could have sent one fat guy. That's the problem. That's where you fucked up. See, this is the issue. This is why Afghanistan failed. Not enough Steven Seagal. Low key. This is why Russia is failing in Ukraine. They have the greatest military asset of all time. Literally there. Under their wing. And they haven't utilized them. They haven't deployed them in the Ukraine. I guess like probably because they are like fearful. They're like, we can't do that. That is the worst thing we can do. You know what I mean?
Seagal flies to Afghanistan and, due to the extra weight, has to be refueled the entire flight. When he arrives, he asks where the strike team, who posthumously transferred back to the Navy, is,
Where's my SEAL team?
before deciding, fuck it, he'll do it himself. After driving in circles for several hours, Seagal finally admits he has no idea where the fuck he is or where the fuck he's going.
Check the map.
His partner tries to show him how maps work, but Seagal's in no mood for that shit. So he has him hide the vehicle while he waddles over and scopes out the area manually. When he gets back, Seagal briefs him on everything he's learned.
Not a fucking thing.
Normally, this is when Seagal would hit up a strip club and the plot would magically come to him, but they're in Afghanistan, so he's all out of ideas. Luckily, his partner's an idiot too, and parked the most suspicious way possible, which raised some red flags. Seagal sends his body double in as a distraction so he can knock him down this soft hill. Then, Robert fucking De Niro shows up from out of nowhere to give him a quick assist before disappearing into the shadows.
I love Steven Seagal's stunt double looking like so different than he does. He
Down
is.
this soft hill. Then, Robert
Especially because this is not like a particularly difficult scene to film. Like, it's not like he's doing anything crazy. He's just running and then shooting.
De Niro shows up from out of nowhere to give him a quick assist before disappearing into the shadows. Then the Afghani soldiers fall right into his trap as Seagal no-sights this guy before sneaking up in front of this guy. He even lays down some sick suppressive fire while not even pretending like recoil exists. His partner is confused by all this stupidity and just stands there while this guy flies in from above instead of just shooting him. But Seagal thrives on stupidity, so he magically appears and boots the stuntman in the head before stabbing his already lifeless body. Then, holy shit, De Niro's trapped, but he ain't going out like a bitch, so he plunges to his death like a fucking boss. While we're mourning that, they take Seagal's partner, who—
They're wearing Russian gear, by the way. I have that exact same jacket. It's Russian military surplus. It's fire.
who nobody gives a shit about, hostage. They take him to the head Afghani terrorist behind everything, who's apparently British.
My name is Stone. And you are?
You know what? F it. Seagal comes across a village and does the two things he does best: kill innocent people for no reason and break into women's homes.
Still fine as hell, ain't you now?
Turns out, this woman, a third his age, that lives in Afghanistan, is his girlfriend.
God, I miss you.
I missed you too.
For reasons
What?
that can't possibly make any fucking sense. But
What?
whatever, because Seagal's dark passenger catches up with him when they find the dead body and begin—
What? I want the punani, dude, but also, like, what? Where mama at? Bro, they don't make movies like this anymore, and that's bad.
searching for him. While there's an infinite number of places someone Seagal's size could hide in this tiny little home, he knows that eventually they just might find him, so he comes up with a brilliant and realistic distraction.
Is this what you want?
Hot girl-on-girl action. Seagal truly gets Afghanistan. Anyways, the British Afghani terrorist is going to pay this guy we all forgot about—
Hey, Rick.
to drop biological weapons with the invisible plane.
The price was right.
Now, Seagal's in a race against time to steal the plane back, so he waits until the next day and makes his move. They're joined by this nose-picking guy that nobody cares enough to even question. They pull up to an agricultural checkpoint that's now magically behind them, and after stabbing these freedom-hating commies to death, it's now in front of them again. So Seagal shows off his expert driving by throwing it into fourth gear from a dead stop and flies right through the heavily fortified roadblock. They get spotted by someone, and the chase is on. But Seagal mind-fucks them and is now the one doing the chasing. Then they do a mind-fuck of their own and are now in a completely different vehicle chasing Seagal again. After some award-winning acting for his stunt driving, the other guys are in such awe that they crash into a tree. But they can't risk a transforming car becoming fully sentient, so they make the right choice and blow it the fuck up. They make it to the terrorist base and do some crazy Mission Impossible shit to their high-level security system. Then they come up with a genius plan where Nose-Picky distracts and kills everyone while Seagal's—
A chain link fence's worst nightmare. Calipers. I've been snipping wires for 35 years. I know what that's like. Every highly fortified top security base has a chain link fence that you could just break through.
sneaks in and flies away undetected.
You got it, boss.
Tranquilo.
So Seagal hides behind this tree while Nose Picky single-handedly takes out roughly 100 terrorists using hand-to-hand combat, guns, flash dance, and random fucking explosions. He then realizes he's too good for this movie and does a kamikaze charge on a fucking dirt bike while blowing everyone away with a full automatic before blowing himself and everyone within a 30-yard radius up. While that's happening, Seagal has a classic showdown where he uses a metal pole versus Rey Mysterio Jr., who's armed with a tripod. Yes, the entire fight is as stupid as it sounds. Then it turns out the traitor also backstabs the terrorists. And isn't gonna bomb anyone, so this entire movie is completely pointless. But whatever, so Seagal frees his partner.
Should've just taken the plane in jail. It's kinda not my style to leave people behind.
He then immediately leaves him behind.
I'm sorry, buddy, but I didn't make it.
Oh well, Seagal's in the invisible plane, and the traitor goes after him in an F-16.
Wait. Why is the traitor backstabbing the guys and then re-backstabbing Steven Seagal? You didn't see that twist coming? I didn't. I actually did not understand it. I guess for Steven Seagal, he's basically writing this to be like, you know, we gotta do a plot twist here, but like he's not clever enough to write like a normal plot twist. So he's just subverting expectations just to do it. You know what I mean? Like there is no motivation behind the actions that this villain is doing. Some men just want to see the world burn.
If you're wondering why, who fucking knows? It makes zero sense and the movie never explains it. It's an intense cat and mouse game.
Try to lock onto this.
Until Seagal does the insane move of just pushing the invisibility button and easily wins. And if you're wondering what happened to him, don't worry. The military ended up sending more planes and blew him the fuck up. A good man is the Steven Seagal.
I've heard this one. This one has a special place in my heart because he has look at this goatee. Oh my God.
Movie where he showed the world what it already knew all along.
Are you for real?
Not really. It's all fake.
And as long as you don't give a shit,
I really don't give a fuck.
you can easily pump out a movie over a weekend. It starts off by not wasting any time.
I love that he has a backwards cap or the do-rag is so good.
And get straight to the nonsense.
Notice how he's getting he's getting fatter and fatter over the years. So the older you, the further you go back in like Seagal's library of content, and man, is it vast. The older he gets, the fatter he gets. So the funnier the action sequences become.
There's no darkness without light.
Without light, all you have is darkness.
I have both within me.
No, he doesn't. But don't worry, because somehow it's all downhill from here.
Yeah, it's impressive.
He proves it by not even finishing the opening credits.
You're about 20 miles off from target.
Before taking off to lunch.
Is there any good restaurants around here?
It's a Seagal movie, and he doesn't do second takes, so they were forced to just go with it.
Yeah, that's the negative on the restaurant scope.
Seagal immediately had that man killed. He's the leader of an elite group of something they never bother telling us.
What the fuck is that?
And his target is
An Islamic fundamentalist, a Chicom arms dealer who finances terrorist activities.
and lives in Romania. In order to take out such a versatile villain, he puts together an elite team of the biggest action stars who will agree to work with him.
Well, we gotta go.
So, the Pretendables plan to infiltrate the enemy's base using stealth and only take out the guards if completely necessary. But something about this unconscious and defenseless guard really pisses Seagal off, so f the plan. Now that Seagal's got a taste of human blood, his partner knows things are gonna get fucking weird, so he gets the hell out of there. The first thing Seagal does is his trademark sword slap with the sword he magically has now, before stuffing it down his shirt for reasons I don't want to know. Then he peeks through the window and sees a bunch of women and children. Jackpot! He blows the door open and rains down hellfire on any poor son of a bitch that happens to be in there. Even though the target leaves,
The most realistic American special op.
Seagal doesn't give a shit cause he's in the fucking zone. He orders a drone strike to eliminate any witnesses. But he's already done a lot of walking today, so instead of getting out of the blast radius, he tells this little girl he gets that her dad's dead, but we all got problems, now get over here, and uses her as a human shield. Then, after she takes the brunt of the explosion,
This is where mama at. Just kidding, mama
and
dead.
pile drives her of the explosion, he does the biggest dick move and pile drives her into the fucking ground.
Oh, no! No! He fucking slammed her. It's called this move is called the Alabama Slammer. You really thought you were gonna be saved, huh? Where mama at? Mama dead. And now you dead too. You really think I'd let a young terrorist get away?
Biggest dick move and pile drives her into the fucking ground. Now, it's 2 years later, and Seagal still has recurring dreams where he's Humpty Dumpty being put back together before waking up in a cold sweat.
Some things never change.
His neighbor needs him to break into her apartment,
Are you locked out?
which is so crazy because he was planning on doing that anyways. He brings his service dog to try and fool them into thinking he's a real person, but his cover is blown when he couldn't even think up a fucking name.
What's his name?
I just never named him.
Later, Seagal goes to scope out the local kindergarten, but
What? The best part about this movie, and just like all Steven Seagal movies, is that he wrote this shit himself, dog. Like, he literally was just like, what do humans do? And you know, in the real world, he has a dog, and he has named those dogs. So I guess while he's writing the script for his movies, he like forgets things that humans do in the real world. You know what I mean? This is a dog. I forgot to name it. I don't even know what the name of this dog is. But I've had this dog for 25 years. My dog's name is Dog. His mind palace is a vacuum. It's just like, how do you forget the top of the hour ad break, for example? Like when you're writing a screenplay, right? Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. Everybody knows it. You know it. I know it, right? Like, we're always thinking about it. Except none of you actually thought about it, and I debated all of you, right? But fear not, like, you can avoid the top of the hour ad break by subscribing for $5 or for free. Where mama at? Now, if you no longer want to see them, you can subscribe for $5 or for free, or with a Twitch Prime, or by getting gifted sub. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. What's the name? Yo, mama dead. What's the name of the top of the hour ad break? I don't know. I never named it. Oh. Aisha Esquire, thank you for the 5 get the subs. Line 5 people no longer see the ads at the top of the hour.
But the little girl happens to be there, and as soon as he's recognized,
Hey, where's your dog?
he turns around and gets the out. This
He's
is her
tactically
brother
evading.
who's already heard all about their creepy neighbor.
That's the man I've been telling you about.
Seagal makes a beeline to this church to establish an alibi and has finally mastered the art of blending in by telling the priest that he's just browsing
Just looking around.
like it's a fucking furniture store. Then, because he's so into adults, his next stop is a strip club where he ignores all the strippers and randomly assaults the customers. When Seagal returns home,
What?
he runs into these guys who want to know why he killed their friend in the strip club. So he apologizes and tells them things just got out of hand, and just kidding, he pulls a sword out of his ass again and murders the fuck out of them too. Then he drops incense
What?
that he carries around at all times just to be a prick and annoy the police. Then he makes his escape by teleport waddling away. Now the police show up and do exactly what they're trained to do.
Again with the incense.
Talk about how awesome Seagal is
The killer obviously is very skilled with a knife.
and how anyone who gets in his way is fucked.
Warning.
But the question is, a warning to whom?
The local Russian mafia boss has a meeting with the local Chinese mafia boss, and wouldn't you know it, it's the Chinese.
Okay, none of this, and I mean none of this, have anything to do with anything else that has happened on the plot so far. Like, it's just like a mishmash of different movies. I don't understand. Like, what about Afghanistan? Like, does that somehow have something to do with, like, please tell me there's something related back to, like, Afghanistan when he was doing, like, missions and shit over there. Like, maybe maybe the girl he pile drove into the fucking ground becomes a terrorist or something.
He's communist Islamic terrorist arms dealer that Seagal rescued earlier. It turns out he and Seagal have a lot in common.
Proclivity for beautiful Russian girls. The younger, the better.
The Russian boss is there to find out who killed his men, and now he's pretty sure it was the brother.
Yeah, how'd you know?
It's a Seagal movie.
Oh, shit.
So the fact that he was with you when they were fucking killed somehow never comes up. So he sends the...
Come on. Okay, that's too much. That's literally what? Like, he saw who murdered the fuck. He saw him murder him.
They were fucking killed somehow never comes up. So he sends the world's worst hitman who misses from right fucking here. He can't believe that dumb shit either, but you need to get over it because we're only halfway through this atrocity. The sister gets home from work and starts to panic when it looks like Seagal
Motherfuckers like me playing Valo, dude. That's crazy.
finally broke in. She's overcome with relief though when it turns out to just be the Russians who are there to traffic her and her little sister.
Keep her safe.
So Seagal goes to tell them he already called dibs, and when they don't back down,
Go back to your room.
waddles back into his apartment and sends his body double out to show them he means business. But they escape.
I think the funniest part about Steven Seagal's stuntman is that he's also not very much in shape, or at least they like stuffed his entire fucking. They stuffed his suit full of shit to make him look like Steven Seagal. So even the stunt doubles movement is like kind of restricted. Look.
And sends his body double out to show them he means.
Also, his body double straight up has a different facial hair. Steven Seagal
Goes back into his
like no beard, just a goatee.
apartment and sends his body double out
Body double has like full beard.
to show
Like look. Like a 5 o'clock shadow.
To show them he means business. But they escape with the little girl who they offer to the Chinese boss as a gift.
This is the sister.
He tells them they're really
It's always really funny because they're like, you know, in shitty movies like this, they're like, we have to traffic this child. Like, specifically this child. Ooh, this child is a delicacy. It's like, why that child? You could have found any other child if you're like that obsessed with like trafficking children, but they're like, no, this is the one child that is like the best one to traffic. He's like, oh man, it's like a diamond. It's like an emerald.
Stupid.
Are you gaming me?
And he knows what he said.
The younger, the better.
But he's not Seagal, and this isn't what he meant. But he decides to keep her.
I want to keep the girl.
Because he knows someone that will pay top dollar. In the meantime, Seagal does what Seagal does best.
Why is he always
Around
in strip
the
clubs?
bathroom, murdering innocent people. He just happens to run into the Russian boss.
Like randomly?
He takes him hostage, and even the dog refuses to watch, cause he's seen this stupid shit 100 times before. Seagal tortures him the way college kids with the drunk guy who passed out at the party.
I guess it's gonna be a long night.
After drawing penises on his cheek and forehead, he draws up some coffee and squirts it up his nose.
Wait, what?
He tells Seagal he'll give him whatever he wants if he'll please have some self-respect. No fucking deal. When Seagal finally finishes satisfying his sadistic urges, he stops by the church and finds someone went crazy in there and really fucked that priest up. Seagal doesn't remember if it was him during one of his blackouts, so to cover himself either way, he just stands there confused for literally 10 seconds before...
Dude, that's just brilliant acting. Okay, this guy's just a hater now. Now I'm realizing that he just doesn't understand the bold vision that Steven Seagal had when he was just fucking, you know, when he chose to react to it for 10 seconds. Like this. Where mama at? That's what he's saying.
We're saying the craziest shit you will ever hear.
Cause now, I will snatch every motherfucker birthday.
I will smash every motherfucker birthday. Oh my God, he's doing code switching in the movies too? He can't stop himself.
Priest has no idea what the f that
Not everybody going for a ride. Where mama at?
supposed to mean, and is hoping he's not just suffering a massive concussion or died and this is hell. Now it's 12 hours later, and not only has Seagal not even snatched one motherfucker birthday,
I will snatch every motherfucker birthday.
but he's barely moved from that spot. Since Seagal's been standing there, the brother was taken prisoner, escaped by taking the hinges off a sliding door, jump kicked a cop into...
Oh wait, brother. The brother's also another one of my favorite like shitty action show tropes is that like the brother also suspiciously good at karate. You know what I mean? Out of nowhere. This movie is S tier in Belarus, bro. This movie is S tier in America.
Fire and flew
Immediately, the most flammable material. This cop's jacket is made out of the most flammable material known to man.
fire.
Like, it lightly hits the back of the fucking cab and catches on fire immediately.
And flew through the air like the fucking Matrix. But spending 12 hours packing this fucking bag is cool too, you lazy f. So anyways, he goes to the Chinese leader in order to buy the little girl he's selling. He
Oh,
means
ew, they like dressed her up too. What the fuck?
rescue because he definitely knew it was her. But it turns out
I changed my mind.
he's selling her to Adam Scott instead, because he's a much bigger celebrity, and that's just the kind of shit Adam Scott does. That's when Seagal drops
What
the
the fuck?
bombshell.
I lie for a living.
No, not that. Everybody knows that. I mean the other bombshell.
I'm not a man.
Motherfucker. We'll talk about that later. The bombshell is that he was the one killing his men and leaving the incense.
I'm Guelo.
Except they weren't
What?
his men, they were the Russians,
We're going to be out of Russian soon.
so he has no idea what the fuck he's talking about.
So it is.
Seagal takes advantage.
What is that move? That it is what it is. Yeah, I'ma snatch a motherfucker birthday.
What the fuck he's talking about.
So it is.
It is what it is, motherfucker.
Seagal takes advantage of all the confusion and the bad guys insisting on aiming and looking when they shoot, and randomly blasts around the room, which kills the guards and Adam Scott. Still not satisfied.
Oh, thank God the knife. Thank God he took the ass knife out, dude. I was worried. I was like, where the fuck is the ass knife already? Emily Schmemily, thank you for the 5-2 gifted subs, by the way.
He chases down a production assistant and chops his fucking hand off. Then, Dr. Seagal and this guy slap each other's swords for a while.
Dude, this is the best part because it, like, again, remember, there are so many incredible parts in a Steven Seagal movie. But one of the objectively best parts of a Steven Seagal movie is when you, in the rare moments, get to see him in action. And whenever he's in action, you can tell, like, you can tell this guy has never moved. I don't mean like done hand-to-hand combat. I don't mean any of that. I mean like just moving in general. He is so stiff. He is so out of shape. And it is fucking hilarious that he insists, like, he's a really bad actor regardless. But like, somewhere along the line, someone decided he was going to be an action hero. Okay, and he had, unironically, 35 years to train for these roles, and he just never did. I find that to be truly inspirational, okay? Straight up. I'm not even lying to you. I'm not even kidding. I'm not being sarcastic. I find that to be inspirational, that he had literally 3 to 4 decades of action movie experience to, like, actually get himself in shape to just be, like, I don't know, at least someone who can convince you that they're capable of walking, capable of running, capable of throwing their fucking hands around every now and then. And he just never did it. He progressively got fatter.
Dr. Seagal and this guy slap each other's swords for a while. It's down to just him and the Chinese.
He just, like, always looks like he's on the verge of collapsing from heart disease. You know what I mean? He's like, he's like, it looks like he's got really high blood pressure in every fucking move, in every moment that he's moving. Where Mama at?
Chinese boss. He shows us that they don't call him Confucius for nothing.
Look at the total summation of your whole life. Is this it?
Well said.
Bro, he went from where Mama at to, like, oh my God, he has an Asian. He switched up to an indiscernible, like, whichever Asian country. We don't know all of them, okay? Bro, that's crazy. Bro, he code switches in movies too. I did not know this. He code switched to general Asian dialect, okay?
Total summation of your whole life.
Oh, why? It's not even like, oh, this is like a Chinese person trying to speak English. This is not a Japanese person speaking broken English. It's not a Korean person speaking broken English. It's just the entire East Asia. All of it. Okay? So fucking awesome, dude. So versatile. So good. Just your entire life.
Is this it?
Well said.
You? No, it wasn't. They go back and forth with this stupid shit.
It took an adversary to
to show me the significance of life and death.
Until Seagal's watch beeps to let him know the movie's hit 90 minutes and he's working for free right now.
Chris Brown canceled for domestic violence, but you support Seagal? How? What? Yeah, you know what it is? It's because I love Steven Seagal. He's just a brilliant actor. That's what it is. Clearly, I love supporting Steven Seagal. That's hypocritical. He got me, guys. He got me. He got me. White kid from Naperville named Kid See Ghost. Love that. By the way, he's been doing this since he's been doing it. He came in and just started popping out of the gate, swinging. All right, Tyler. Okay, you got me. You got me, dude. I know Kid See Ghost a Kanye reference. I know. Kanye is a good billionaire. Kanye is a great billionaire. Yeezy can fix the system. People don't listen. I'm voting for Kanye. I don't care. All right, let's continue.
Free right now. So now he's dead and the movie ends.
Why is he going out of his way to defend Chris Brown out of nowhere? Because Chris Brown has been posting on his Instagram. Actually, kind of low-key true shit about how, like, everyone picks and chooses the domestic violence, like people who do, like, domestic abuse. And he's been doing the what about this guy, what about that guy? Like, why do you guys not cancel those people? You're constantly bringing up my fucking prior domestic abuse against Rihanna. Meanwhile, it's like, it's kind of true to a certain degree. But it's also like, well, you know, that was Rihanna. And two, it's not like you were fucking canceled. Like I saw him at a Halloween party. You know, he was headlining. And, you know, you never really got canceled. You just, like, don't like that people bring that up, I think. Yeah, I think he's just mad that people bring it up. And he was also a repeat offender, from what I understand. Anyway, let's continue. Who cares? I mean, I'm not defending Steven Seagal regardless. He's very clearly making fun of him.
Nope. Fuck you. A Seagal movie can't end without a giant middle finger to the audience. When they get back home, she tells her little sister, sorry, but I'm banging Seagal now, so you need to get the fuck out.
Why?
This scene is very important, so you never forget how terrible of a human being Steven Seagal is.
What?
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Dude, this is so awesome. Wait, Steven Seagal versus Van Damme, unbiased, marked for death, hard target?
Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal are the world's biggest and largest action stars of all time. Scholars have debated for decades who really is the best.
Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme actually is the best. So that's it. Yeah, we're going to watch the Mr. G video in a second.
Today, we settle the debate once and for all by pitting Van Damme's hard target against Steven Seagal's marked for death in a completely objective and unbiased 12-round matchup. May the best...
How the fuck does his hair stand like that? Like, I tried and it never was... I was never able to get my hair to stand like that when I had long hair.
Man or Seagal win. Round 1, the better hair. In hard target, the very first shot of Van Damme we see is a close-up of that glorious mullet. It is a science fact that his hair is so hypnotic that for the movie to make any sense, you have to watch all scenes where his hair makes an appearance multiple times for your brain to piece together what's happening in your peripheral vision.
Okay,
Trust
hair-wise,
me, lady, I know just how you feel.
it's incredible. It's beautiful. It's glorious.
In Marked for Death, Seagal has his trademark ponytail that's by far the most memorable thing about his entire career.
Awful.
What's most important?
Oh God, I just realized I had the Steven Seagal hair. I tried to have the fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme hair, and I only had the Steven Seagal hair. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's so bad.
Impressive is how it manages to be his single greatest trait, while at the same time still being really fucking stupid.
Give me a break.
Point Van Damme. Round 2, the better runner. Not only does Van Damme run with the sheer grace of a white-tailed deer, but also so...
Okay, this is only making me want to watch Marked for Death, by the way, because, like, God, I do want to go through a lot of, like, 80s, 90s action flicks, because I feel like they were so good.
Fast that the friction causes...
Like, they literally used more regular fucking practical effects, and they used more, like, real fucking fighting sequences instead of the Marvel shit that's, like, softened and lets editing do the rest. Back then they did, when, you know, in comparison to now. Not that it matters for Steven Seagal because he never did it, so it doesn't really matter, but...
Everything behind him to burst into flames. But that's not all. While running, he also does spontaneous twist flips. He doesn't even mean to do it, it just
That's
happens.
insane. Why did he do that?
Seagal heard the criticism of his running in Above the Law, and even though he felt betrayed by the mockery he received.
Oh, dude, yeah, this is famous. This is like the first and last time Steven Seagal ever actually runs in a movie, right? You rarely ever see him run. He's like, yeah, you guys think it's funny that I run funny? Well, you know, I'll gain 60 pounds and I'll never run again.
Just for showing his feminine side, he vowed to do better, and boy did he. In Marked for Death, he shows his ability to multitask and steer a pirate ship while in a full sprint.
What the fuck? Oh, he's still... Yo, why does he run like that?
Even though it's absolutely hilarious.
I've only seen the first one. I've only seen the first movie where he runs. I'd never seen the other one.
It's also completely embarrassing. Point Van Damme. Round 3, the story. Both movies have incredible stories that scholars are still discovering deeper meanings to this very day.
That's fire. He made the fucking he hit the snake so hard it went unconscious, dude. Yo, this fucking guy. How did they come up with this shit, bro? Run it back. We gotta run it back.
Still discovering deeper meanings to this very day. Hard Target is an inspirational tale about Van Damme sticking up for the little guy. Like Vietnam War vets, women with crazy eyebrows, and
that's just like 80s, 90s though. Like that shit was that was the titties back then. It's actually still the titties now. It like came back.
Pigeons.
Hey, pigeon.
Marked for Death is about Seagal shooting random women and children.
My baby!
What?
Or some shit. Who fucking cares? It's incoherent dog shit. Point Van Damme. Round 4, the better co-star. In Marked for Death, Keith David partners up.
To be fair, Keith David is the GOAT, so Steven Seagal might actually get this one.
With Seagal and plays an old army buddy of his in what I assume were the Special Forces. Despite that, Seagal doesn't allow him to do anything during action scenes, so he either just looks around lost, hides out until the action is over, or is forced to wait in the car so Seagal can take all the credit. In Hard Target, Van Damme takes the diabetic guy from Cocoon and turns him into a total badass. He makes Hawkeye look like a bitch as he shoots explosive arrows.
What? Okay, Keith David's better though.
Incoherently, while he rides around on his horse like a drunken man.
Okay, the irony of this is that guy does more action than Steven Seagal does in his entire career in one fucking movie. Where mama at?
Madman. He's such a fucking boss that he blows up his own house just to fuck with the bad guys. Near the very end, he gets stabbed in the chest, but is saved by his rampant alcoholism.
This real catastrophe.
Fuck yeah. 5 points, Van Damme. Round 5, the better villains. In Marked for Death, the main villain is a Jamaican drug dealer who goes by the name Screwface.
And I everywhere.
I'm serious. That's his name.
What?
If that's not bad enough, there's actually 2 Screwfaces who are secret twins.
You kidding me, brother?
Oh yeah, they also do voodoo.
Oh, dude, of course. Of course. The 2 Screwfaces is like classic. Again, you got to write like a plot twist and you couldn't come up with anything. All of the Steven Seagal movies, plot twists literally come like they feel as though they just came up with it on the spot while they were filming. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, what if there was not 1 but 2 Jamaican voodoo guys? You know what I mean? Me want the punani. The Caribbean voodoo gangster was a staple of the 80s, 90s action movies. Yeah. Why was that? I wonder what like the reason for that was. Was it just like regular old racism or what the fuck was the deal? Obviously, it's like regular old racism, but like, why specifically that? You know what I mean? Because like now, okay, post 2001, every movie, the enemies are Arabs, right, and Muslims. Early 90s to 2000s, every enemy is like usually every bad guy. Cold War, every enemy is Russian. And then like I would say 90s, early 2000s, every enemy is just black people in America. You know what I mean? Like regular black people. There was an era where they had, there was definitely an era where they had like, you know, like Serbs and shit too. It's just like whoever the State Department has like marked as the enemy to the public is oftentimes like the main enemy in movies. I'm not saying it's deliberate. So that's why I'm wondering like what the fuck was it specifically? Because you're right. There was like an 80s, 90s era where there was a lot of like Jamaican voodoo guys and shit that were like the scary Jamaican guy. Yeah, indiscernible Balkan villains. Yeah.
How is this a real movie? In Hard Target, there are also two main villains, but neither of them are shitty. You have the fucking mummy himself, Emotep. He is one crazy fuck that cuts people's fucking ears off.
Ooh, that's
then
fire.
Straight up executes them in a public area in the middle of the day. He gives zero shits if anyone sees him.
Dude, that's fire. That's
then you
fire.
Have Lance Henriksen, who is so badass that his weapon of choice is a single-shot pistol that doesn't even have sights. Not only is he a man of culture, but he disassembles grenades that have been dropped in his pants instead of just throwing them back. Sure, it didn't work out for him, but man, that took balls. 2 points for Van Damme. Round 6.
-4 Seagal for no. Seagal has lost points now. What is happening?
The craziest kill. In Marked for Death, Seagal busts into this random guy's apartment for no reason and viciously attacks him.
Oh, come here. I just want to talk to you for a minute.
Then, this fucking weirdo who...
Unbiased, by the way? Okay, this is definitely unbiased, okay? The fact that they're even matching up Van Damme against Steven Seagal means that there is like, it's unbiased. Because there is not a single planet. There's not a single planet where either of them could ever be compared, okay?
Was doing who knows what in the bathroom, comes out and attacks Seagal before being thrown onto the soft bed and apparently falling asleep or something. Then he wakes up and realizes it wasn't just a terrible nightmare and that he really is in a Seagal movie.
That reminds you?
And does the right thing by jumping out the window. In Hard Target, there are so many badass crazy kills. But I'm going with this one, where he slides realistically across
this is a
the
famous
ground before shooting the mummy 30 times.
This is a famous scene, isn't it?
In the fucking torso, and then kicking him from the ground. A whole fuckload of points for Van Damme. Round 7, the best line. Whether Van Damme's giving a heartfelt story about where his name came from.
What kind of a name is Chance?
Well, my mama took one.
Or outside.
By the way, back in the day, another permanent staple was like the foreign white guy who just had like the deepest of accents. And you could have these motherfuckers star in movies, be the main hero, be the main character, or like objectively a gigantic person. It was so crazy that like indiscernible accents were such a thing that we had our very own version of that. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about Arnold. I'm not talking about Van Damme. I'm not talking about Dolph Lundgren or whatever it is. I'm talking about Sylvester Stallone, motherfucker. Like, that was so poppin' that we literally imported our own, okay? We imported our very own indiscernible fucking juiced up muscle hero. Adrian! Like, that's insane that we were just like, yo, that shit is so poppin'. We need to get a guy from Philadelphia. Any guy. Actually, is Sylvester Stallone from Philadelphia? I don't even know. I just, went with Rocky. My bad. I'm just saying, like, that was a very different era. You don't see that anymore. You don't have like motherfuckers. Everyone has like a common American dialect now. Most of the actors are British and Australian, but they all sound like they're from California. Meanwhile, back in the day, the fucking impossible to understand, massive, giant fucking juice lord, juiced out the wazoo, steroids through the fucking gills, that is impossible to understand, was so popular, we made our own version of it.
Sassing the sassy waitress.
How's that Dumbo, Chance?
A tragedy.
Van Damme is truly one of the greatest poets of our generation. In Marked for Death, it's all really fucking stupid, but I guess we'll go with this.
Put your hands where I can see them, or I'm gonna blow your head off.
Where Seagal tries to arrest everyone without ever leaving his vehicle. It's important since it marks the beginning of Seagal saying, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do everything sitting down." Point Van Damme. Round 8, the most intimidating. In Marked for Death, Seagal kills one of the screw faces in Jamaica. Being the normal person that he is, he grabs his head and takes it with him. I don't know how he got it through customs, but when he tries to scare Screwface's men with it,
the evil is demolished.
It doesn't work at all. And he's been carrying a rotting human head around for days for no fucking reason.
Dude, what the fuck? Yo! They just immediately start blasting, dude, which of course they would. What is this fucking plot?
Good job, dipshit. In Hard Target, these hooligans are harassing Eyebrow Lady and steal her purse.
What's a little extra, honey?
They're about to learn just how fucking stupid that was. This guy shows off this adorable knife before getting absolutely embarrassed when...
Another thing that went away that should stay, that should come back, cuffing your long sleeve jacket. Like, he has a duster on, and it's a long sleeve duster, obviously, and he cuffed it for no reason.
Absolutely embarrassed when Van Damme brandishes the greatest weapon of mass destruction known to man. His fucking kicking leg that he immediately uses to wreck everyone.
If Steven Seagal tried to kick one time, he would immediately turn into dust, okay? He would turn into a cloud of Cheeto dust, motherfucker.
Shit. Point Van Damme. Round 9. Better Vehicle Shootout. Hard Target gives us one of the grittiest and most heart-pounding vehicle shootouts of all time. Van Damme's trying to get away, but oh shit, the road's closed. Realizing it's a construction zone where all fines would be doubled.
Bro, he has this movie has a lot of iconic moments. I've actually never watched it, but I've literally seen half of these fucking scenes being discussed. Well, I mean, I guess it's because it's fucking John Woo, right? Is it John Woo?
No choice but to charge head on into the Chevy Suburban. He then makes himself appear larger, which instills fear into his enemies as he unloads on those poor sons of bitches.
Like, I remember this.
And then does a goddamn flip over the vehicle before landing and blowing it the fuck up. Fuck yeah. In Marked for Death, Seagal drives on a sidewalk and through a park like a goddamn lunatic and kills countless women and children. And for some inexplicable reason, half of the scene where he's chasing the bad guys, his vehicle is in front of theirs. Who the fuck is chasing who? None of this scene makes any goddamn sense.
What?
Point Van Damme. Round 10. Better fire.
Bro, he keeps lowering Steven Seagal's score too. He's at minus 16 now.
In Hard Target, Van Damme takes fire and makes it his bitch by constantly doing flips right through it. Not even the main villain has time for fire's shit, and when his entire jacket goes up in flames, he barely notices and doesn't take it off for what feels like forever.
What are you looking at?
Then they both get involved when Lance tries to hit Van Damme with a burning 2x4, and Van Damme just fucking grabs the part that's on fire like he doesn't give a fuck. In Marked for Death, Seagal gets trapped inside a car and completely loses his shit like a total coward.
What?
The car catches on fire and he suddenly forgets how doors work and tries to open them by slapping them with a limp wrist. Luckily, the director realizes this is fucking embarrassing and hard to watch and makes the hole bigger so he can get out of there and we can forget this ever happened. Point Van Damme. Round 11.
Limp wristing the door is choice, dude. Like he was just like, I don't know what to do. What do you mean? Like what? Just open the door. Why are you flailing around? What the fuck? That was camp, not gonna lie. Yeah.
The better henchmen. In Hard Target, the henchmen are numerous, highly trained, and well-equipped mercenaries that use brutal and efficient tactics.
Let me review the tactical situation for you, gentlemen.
To try and take down Van Damme. In Marked for Death, the henchmen are the fucking Jamaican Three Stooges.
Oh, they punched each other.
Van Damme. Final round.
That's unfair. They weren't the Three Stooges. It's just that Steven Seagal expertly Aikido'd them to hit each other. Minus 45, by the way.
Round 12. The weirdest shit. In Marked for Death, Seagal's buddy is brutally murdered during the final battle. They verify he's dead.
I'm sorry, man.
And have no choice but to go on without him. Then, after Seagal kills the leader, they're shown walking away and Seagal's just carrying his lifeless body. What the fuck are you doing? Where are you taking it? Who just walks around with a dead body like...
I mean, why not? He walked around with a decapitated head and literally shipped it overseas, so he might as well also walk around with his dead homie.
You're fucking newlyweds. We never find out because the credits just start rolling.
That's fire.
Our target has some pretty weird shit too. From Van Damme's special moment with a pigeon.
No, it's important to show that he, like, even animals naturally know that despite him being a predator, he's friends to the weak. Like a fragile bird that can't defend itself, Jean-Claude Van Damme is a friend to the bird. You know what I mean? That's important. That's an important thing to understand here. This is like truly a big part of the show.
to blowing bad guys away with a shotgun while riding a giant stork, to face punching a snake and biting off its rattle. All the weird shit in Hard Target is fucking awesome. 100 points, Van Damme. The final score is,
Minus
out of
70.
a possible 12 points, Van Damme 682, Steven Seagal negative 75. Which comes as a surprise, it didn't seem to be nearly that
Okay, this guy seems a little biased towards Steven Seagal.
close. Congratulations, Van Damme. You've once again proven that good will always triumph over lazy and stupid.
Yeah. He gave Steven more than I would have. Yeah, minus 75. Van Damme is too OP. Should compare Seagal with Stallone. Oh, dude, Sylvester Stallone still wins that, though. There is not a single fucking action movie person that Steven Seagal could actually beat toe-to-toe. Like, both in hand-to-hand combat or just overall vibes or just, like, movies that they've been in. Even like back in the day, like Chuck Norris and shit, you know what I mean? Like, Vin Diesel's better than Seagal. Yeah, I can't really think of a single fucking person that Steven Seagal actually beats. Okay, dude, that's fucked up. He said current Bruce Willis. My man has dementia, dog. Jesus Christ. And he still clears Steven Seagal, by the way.